We believe that Dragon Ball FighterZ has been tuned to its finest, so we do not have future plans for any new characters or balance adjustments. But here's the good news, as you have heard from her, we have decided to implement rollback netcode to Dragon Ball FighterZ.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hello, and welcome to James the Lesser Express Lane, where we get you in and out as fast as possible with... We all saw how excited the audience was, how excited Maximilian was about rollback netcode. Now, let's see what the Pigger thinks about rollback netcode.
Cool. Where do we start? Man, we got a lot to talk about today. All right, how about before we get to the schedule and the future, let's talk about the past. Let's talk about yesterday. All right?
All right.
So yesterday's streams were actually quite enjoyable. First of all, on the Level 1 podcast, I talked about netcode. All right? I talked about delay-based versus rollback netcode. How pretty much the entirety of the fighting game community seems to be in this very mindless consensus that rollback netcode is the solution to everyone's problems with playing games online. And if a fight...
Now, mind you, guys, the lag. But he apparently prefers lagging netcode versus rollback netcode.
Fighting game doesn't have rollback netcode, it's trash. But if it has rollback netcode, it's perfect. And I explained to you from a player's perspective, being a former professional fighting game player, what I think about rollback netcode. Not that I dislike it, but that I don't feel like it's flawless or the end-all be-all. I gave some comparisons. I tried to do some anecdotes, all right?
All right.
Some people took offense. So allow me to reiterate a few things or elaborate a few things. No, I don't believe that everyone who's pushing for rollback netcode is a shill or a sellout. There may be a few of them, all right? But I'm not saying everyone is.
He probably got bitched at by either chat or in emails or something like that, so he's like, oh no, I gotta take back my word on this, guys, even though I just spent an entire hour yesterday bitching about this.
What I'm saying is there just seems to be this mindless belief system in the fighting game community that rollback netcode is the best. And then you have a few people...
Because it is the best of what we got. Is there a way to make it better? Maybe. But I don't got the millions or even billions in the 150 crew to try and figure out a way to make it work better. And guess what? Do you think Capcom's gonna be like, do we take 150 people off of these projects, put them into a room, give them $1 billion to get something better than netcode? Or do we spend our resources better on making Street Fighter 6? And then DLC for Street Fighter 6. Because when Street Fighter 6 comes out, there's gonna be 5, maybe 6 people available. Then you gotta spend $19.99 to unlock Chun-Li, and then $29.99 to unlock M. Bison. Fucking DLC.
People who are like authorities in the community who come out with these technical videos explaining this data here and this data here. The vast majority of people in the FGC don't understand that. They don't know what that means.
You don't understand it. You don't know what that means. Shut the fuck up. In fact, let's watch a video on that. Alright guys, this video should help explain it better than anything I could ever do. And I'll have the link down below.
In fighting games, performing the Daigo parry or certain combos requires precise timing. Press an input a moment too early or too late, and you fail your combo and maybe die because of it. It's not too unlike learning a song on a musical instrument. Now imagine how hard it would be to play a song you practiced if your guitar did this. The hell? Not only that, but sometimes the note comes out really late or sometimes a little late. It's random. This is what it's like to play fighting games online with delay-based netcode. When you press a button, there's a delay because the game waits for the other side to receive your input before showing the move on both screens. But this is terrible to play in unless the delay between both players is very short, but not everyone has super good internet connections and not everyone lives in the same region. If everyone could play offline together, lag wouldn't be a problem, but we live in a world where arcades die and viruses live, so netplay matters a lot. Sadly, there's no way to remove the delay between two distant online connections, but Tony Kennan discovered a way to make it so your move appears immediately, even before it reaches your opponent.
I started working on this around in like late 2005, early 2006, and it was because all the games are...
So, right around the time that he gave up on being an FGC person. Because he went to, what, EVO 2005? And this didn't get started working on until 2005. So it didn't come out until after he'd already left the FGC community.
Coming out for the consoles just had really bad delay-based netcode.
What's insane about this technology is that it's achieved by predicting the future and time traveling. Seriously.
2015? You mean we're in the future?
Let's say there's 45 milliseconds of delay between you and your opponent. If the character you control has no lag and your move comes out before the input reaches your opponent, what does your opponent see? If you kick and your opponent's side sees it 45 milliseconds later, both sides are now 45 milliseconds out of sync, which is no good. But there is a way to get it in sync. When your opponent's side receives your input, it can just skip the first 45 milliseconds of your kick animation. You might be thinking this could look weird or choppy, but at full speed, it's hard to tell. It's like when everyone starts singing Happy Birthday, but you join in a little late. You skip the first words of the song so you'll be in sync, and no one will notice. But if your opponent receives all your actions 45 milliseconds late, what do you look like to them in the meantime? In our kick example, you were shown to be just standing there for 45 milliseconds before kicking. Why did their side think you were just standing there? Because it was its best guess. It was a wrong guess, but it was reasonable considering you were standing there previously. At any given moment, each side is trying to predict what the opponent is currently doing based on the previously received input. And what's crazy is, most of the time it's correct. This is because it doesn't take a fortune teller to predict things one frame into the future.
I'm just going to assume the thing you did last is the thing you do next, like forever. Oh, you were holding back to block? I'm going to assume you're still holding back to block.
Can you guess what my sleeping cats will do in the next frame? If you guess sleep, then you might just be a precog. Obviously, you knew the answer because you saw what they were doing previously. But just like a precog, predictions can be wrong. To clearly show what happens with incorrect predictions, let's just say there's a huge 500 millisecond delay with your opponent. If your opponent is walking forward, your side will correctly predict their position because there's only one direction to predict, forward. But if they suddenly do something different like jump, your side will still think they're walking because it didn't get the memo yet. But the moment your side receives the news that your opponent jumped 500 milliseconds ago, it will instantly roll them back to your opponent's correct position, which is in midair at this point. Hence, rollback netcode. Remember, this was an extreme case. With normal amounts of delay, the amount of rollback would be practically unnoticeable. Rollback netcode works because when the predictions are correct, things are in sync, and when it's not, it gets corrected before anyone notices. Sometimes huge lag spikes can go unnoticed if all the predictions are correct in that time, and you might be surprised just how often the predictions are correct.
How fast do people move the controller? How many inputs are there? There's probably no more than like 5 per second. That's a lot, 5 inputs per second. So that means if there's 60 frames per second, that means you're right more than 90% of the time.
But sometimes you can notice if the game has moments of drastic and instantaneous changes, for example, KOs in Third Strike. The KO pops up and the screen freezes right on the final blow, so if the game predicts someone got knocked out but they actually blocked the hit, you can get a you win just kidding moment. This isn't a big problem in Super Turbo because the final blow just slows down the screen.
Yeah, don't do large disruptive VFX or screen text in the first 2 or 3 frames, however long you expect your rollback to be. The other is like don't design moves that have very large displacement on the first or second frame.
Developing the game with rollback netcode in mind will minimize these glitchy moments, but weirdness will happen regardless if network delay is too large and the game has to roll back to things that happened too far in the past.
What the f was that?
But another way to minimize how far you need to roll back is by
Sound like
delaying
DSP.
everyone's inputs on purpose. If you're late to a party, but they postpone the time, you will be less late or even early. The more you delay everyone's inputs, the shorter the rollback time. But of course, more delay means your character feels laggier. Rollback netcode is usually combined with delay netcode to strike a balance between glitchiness and lag. But there is one more potential problem called rift. Let's say your opponent's console overheats and it slows down their game during an online match. This means their inputs will get to you really late, causing massive rollback glitches on your side, while your inputs will get to them ahead of schedule, making their side play perfectly. This results in one-sided rollback. The netcode must correct the rift to make sure both players have a fair fight.
It's like I'm on frame 10, you're on frame 14. We should probably both be on frame 12, so the rollbacks are the same distance.
If rollback netcode sounds more complicated to implement than delay-based, it's because it is.
This is all one tick, right? If we're doing our job right, this takes 16.66 milliseconds and no more.
But if done correctly, it will allow more people to have more playable matches online. I've had excellent games in Punch Planet playing from Korea to California because it uses GGPO, the rollback netcode for fighting games invented by Tony Cannon. He's even made it free to use under the MIT license, and the technology is used in many games already, including old-school arcade games played through Fightcade. Rollback technology is used in AAA fighting games as well, and even Melee has rollback now. If you like fighting games and hate lag, please share this video. For more info...
Well, I'll make sure to share that video. But yes, there is a very good explanation of what fucking rollback is. Don't listen to DSP. He's wrong.
They don't ever watch those videos and get it. They just get told rollback netcode's better, so they just believe it.
Because it
Point of
is.
me talking about this on the podcast yesterday was not to try to expose some conspiracy about rollback netcode. It was to try to explain in layman's terms the difference between the old school delay-based netcode and the more modernized rollback netcode, but still explain that rollback netcode is not perfect, because there is this misconception in the FGC that rollback netcode is flawlessly perfect, the best we can get, it should be in everything.
It is the best we can get. Unless, DSP, unless you want to invest millions, if not billions of dollars, get a crew of 150 people to miss their child's first birthday and miss Christmas with grandma while she's old and sick, so they can make it a little bit better. Which obviously he won't, because that would be money that's not going to WWE champions.
The point I was making yesterday, all right, excuse me, was that we should demand better. If we literally just say, okay, rollback's the best that we're going to get, you'll never get anything better.
Because it is the best you're going to get unless you want to invest billions of dollars.
Just get the same netcode over and over. And what I've noticed in the past 10 years is that everyone screams for rollback, the games get it, and they all play the same. They all have the teleporting, the skipped frames, the dropped inputs. Oh, you go forward, then you go back in time and rewind. I don't like that. I want better. I know we can do better if effort is made. But if you all demand the inferior...
Or I guess you could invest trillions of dollars, give everyone giga internet. No more megabits and megabytes, go straight up to gigabyte internet. Put NASA to shame no matter where you're at. Brand Washington versus Seoul, South Korea. Well, everyone's on the same giganet internet, then maybe you wouldn't have to worry about delay. But as the video explained, this is the best we have because some people have potatoes for internet. Some people's console's overheating and it causes a delay. And also, the game developers themselves are developing the games for rollback netcode to make it better.
Your netcode, then you're never going to get better. And that's what I mean. Like at EVO this year, oh my God, it's announced that Dragon Ball FighterZ finally has rollback netcode. And people are going crazy. They're flipping out. It's like, so it has the standard netcode that everyone uses now. Why are we freaking out about this? If they said, oh, we're using new netcode we feel is going to be better than rollback, then I would have actually gotten excited. Instead, oh, we're just using the same netcode everyone else uses that still kind of sucks. Oh, I'm so excited now.
Only sucks to you, because you're an idiot.
Oh, you know. But again, it's all about hype. It's about marketing. And this is the point I was making yesterday. I am of the opinion you should also demand better. A lot of people don't want that. They just like,
should we demand better of you? No! This is the best I can do! Lean in manual band, snort!
just be the status quo. I'm not about being the status quo. You guys know that. I always ask for more. Whether it's game developer.
You always ask for more tips, and more memberships, and more super chats, and more super stickers, and more Patreon, and more likes, and more viewers, and more shares, and more comments. Yeah, we know. You're always asking for more DoorDash. And Total Wine.
Marketing departments, people on the internet who cover games, like games journalists or even content creators. I demand more. I want better from the gaming community. So when you tell me rollback netcode is already the standard, but, you know, oh, we should freak out that it's the best. I mean, it should be better. Take a look at my experiences with it firsthand. The documented evidence that it's not very good, but everyone says it's so good.
Except your experience is your internet sucks. We have seen time and time again that it's always his issue, not the other person. It's always, like, what was it? He was playing Demon Souls. And there was a fight between him and the other guy. He's like, oh my god, it's delaying, it's delaying. Oh my god, guys, look, he's able to do all this and I can't do anything. But the guy who was doing it was also streaming himself. So they were showing his side of it. It's like, dude, there's literally no delay. You're just a whiny bitch.
Good. No, it's not. I want more, okay?
I want more. Well, guess what, Piggy? You get nothing. Hopefully. One of these days. I can imagine a week of, guys, yesterday's stream was the best stream I had, and it was only 12,000 tips, guys. Like the 5 previous streams, I didn't even break double digits, guys. What's going on, guys? You don't expect me to eat a deli meat sandwich on my day off tomorrow, do you? Snort. Other bodily noises that are gross and disgusting. Anyways, hopefully that will give you a good explanation of what rollback netcode is, why it's the best we have, why people are excited for it, and again, more proof that DSP is an idiot. Anyways, with that, I'm gonna let you go. Thank you for watching. As always, like, subscribe, comment down below, and have one hell of a day.